Beep beep. Honk honk. Beep 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 beep. Honk honk. Beep beep. Honk. Beep honk. Awooga. 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 Hello, welcome to the Video Game Valley. It's a beautiful day today. A perfect 72 degrees out. We're playing Checkered Flag on the Atari Jaguar, that's right. Checkered Flag on the Atari Jaguar. Now you might be asking yourself, why this particular game? Why Checkered Flag? Why the Atari Jaguar? And I'll tell you. I've been cooking all day. I've been cooking since I got up until I took a pie out of the oven just right before streaming at 10:59. I took a pie out of the oven. I started cooking when I woke up, and at 10:59 I'm taking a pie out of the oven. And I simply don't really have the mental capacity to deal with much more than Checkered Flag on the Atari Jaguar right now. I'm a little worn out. But the wonderful thing about 3D games on the Jaguar is they're so wonky. There's no real need to put a lot of skill into playing them. They just kind of fumble about. You just kind of fumble along and going wherever you can, and things don't really work out. And that's a perfect game for me right now. Same here, Jason. 10 hours of cooking and baking will wear anyone out. It sure will. I got a bunch more to do tomorrow, but I got all the stuff I could pre-do. Like, I got those mashed potatoes ready to heat up in the oven tomorrow. Sweet potato casserole. It's all ready. I just gotta put the topping on it and bake it tomorrow. Greek green beans. Those take so long. The longer you cook them, the better. Greek green beans, and those hours, and then oh yeah, the cranberry sauce. I made a gravy. Made a macaroni that's going to be a macaroni casserole tomorrow. Oh, what else did I do? I made ginger cookies. A triple berry pie. Did some prep stuff for some other stuff. I got some vegan roasts going in the oven tomorrow. I got to do dolmades tomorrow. That's my big thing. I'm going to do these glazed carrots, Brussels sprouts, cornbread, and if I have time, biscuits, but I might not have time. What type of topping do you put on sweet potato casserole? Yeah, it's pecans for me, because I'm a vegetarian. Marshmallows are not. I guess I could get vegetarian marshmallows. They do make them. But I do love pecan. I'm a big pecan fan. Alright, well, it's time to turn on the system 1 second. I want you to see the Jaguar. Pecans are so good. I love pecans so much. They're great. Read Yowie, the Batman the Yowie Knight made me question everything. As all great art does. And yeah, marshmallows have what is it? Connective tissue and stuff in them. Connective tissue and bone stuff. Recently became lactose intolerant. There are vegan marshmallows. Yeah, they don't quite melt the same way. I've never tried them on a sweet potato casserole, but I just love pecans, so. Can't have dairy anymore without lactose pills. What are your favorite alternatives to dairy milk? Is a good question. There's a bunch of them now. The Califia Farms does an almond milk that's extremely good. Like, taste-wise, it's... before I was completely eating vegan when Scuffy's here, I had like started to get into stuff like that just because I was dating Scuffy and wanted to familiarize myself, and fell in love with almond milk. And could not believe after drinking it for using it in cereal and stuff for a good amount of time how weird dairy milk tasted. What color do I want? I got a purple. I guess I'll go red and black. That's not too bad. Almond milk for coffee, oat milk for cooking. Oat milk does pretty well in some cooking stuff. For baking in particular, I find that different types of that milk works for different situations. Like soy milk has a lot more protein and structure and stuff, and there's a lot of the stuff that soy milk just works way better for. Cashew milk is one of my favorites for anything that you're doing like a cream sauce. So if you're doing like I've made like a vegan a la king with cashew milk. Let's do sunny weather to start. Airfoil. Let's do that low. Tires dry. This all seems good. Single race. Start with island hop. I don't particularly, me personally, I know people go buck wild for oat milk, so I would try oat milk. Me personally, I don't really like oat milk as like flavor-wise, but it is very useful for a number of baking stuff. In the same way, almond milk is just because like the flavor that you're adding, sometimes like the added almond flavor or the added oat flavor complements what you're baking, and sometimes it doesn't. Can't stand the stuff. No. I think oat milk is going to be the most like it or not like it of the milks.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Here we go. We're racing. I didn't mention this, but this game runs at like 5 frames a second. It's released. It's not a particularly sprightly game. Cashew milk, soy milk, almond milk, oat milk. Cashew milk is pretty extraordinary in many capacities. I don't like it in cereal. For me, almond milk is the superior cereal milk. It's also the it's right behind soy milk in terms of its ability to kind of be used in anything. Like soy milk works as very well as a milk substitute in most things, and the flavor profile it brings to stuff usually doesn't have an overwhelming change. and then almond milk, and then cashew milk for ice cream is fabulous. Yeah, I've done a cashew milk ice cream before, and that's extremely good. Almond milk also is pretty good. I'm allergic to cashews. Well, stay away from cashew milk. Oh, I did it! I'm the winner. No, wait, that's not my car. I lost. I am the loser. I got 4th place. Let's try again. Let's try the same race. I'm gonna do it this time. Anyway, yeah, I would just recommend giving them a try, because giving different milks a try, because your personal taste is gonna have a pretty big impact on which one you end up using the most of. Oh, so worn out. Too much cooking. Then the nice thing about cooking so, oh my god, I'm doing so bad. The nice thing about cooking so much is I'm not really gonna have to cook at all the next week. I have so many leftovers. It's just gonna be leftover city. Every day I'm gonna get up, eat more of just fridge food. We did not win. We, in fact, lost. Let me have it raining. Wet tires, probably. Let's do the gorge.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
All of my friends are leftover haters. It weirds me out. Who hates leftovers? Jeez. Real sickos, that's who. Real no-good scoundrels. Maybe your friends are secretly murderers because they don't like leftover food. You never know. They could be stone cold killers because of their dislike of leftovers. Brad, thank you for the 199. Reading Yowie Night. Wonderful and stupid, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Glad you're enjoying the screenplay. It's an important work of art. I hope that DC understands this and gets in touch. Let's try fog in the gorge.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Yeah, it's foggy now. Kind of like the fog. You know, the game has a sort of fog anyway because of the short draw distance. So the fog makes that less obvious. Can't wait for Mark Hamill to voice Happy Joker. Yeah. Mark has mentioned on the Discord. He's unfortunately passed away, but the correct actor for that iteration of the Joker is probably Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald probably would have been the right casting choice. At frames per second. Yeah, it's nice when you can kind of count the frames. There are moments here where I think you could actually calculate the number of frames per second by sight. Like you can just eyeball it and get pretty close. How many are there? Island Hop was the start. Gorge, Concrete Canyon, Sunshine Strip, Arctic Run, Green Valley, River Mouth, Desert Pass, Deep Wood, the whole... God, there's 10 of these tracks. Alright. It's got a Concrete Canyon.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
How do you handle all these bits? Yeah, it's a good question. So, the Atari Jaguar has 64 bits of power. Now, those 64 bits take the form of 2 chips on board that have 32 bits each. So it all adds up to 64-bit if you count a certain way. It's technically there's 32 bits in there. Now you might be saying that's not how you calculate this stuff. That doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like saying you've got one book that's in English and a second book that's in English, and so you've got double English. It doesn't really make sense, but it's 64 bits. And you can see that power on display here. You can see all of this. I don't know if you know this. What you're witnessing right here is not a camera. There's not a camera somewhere recording this for posterity. This is all being rendered in real time by the chips on board. Those 32-bit chips that equal 64 when combined. They're creating all of this in real time. Brad, thank you for the 199. Kind of gives Harley Quinn TAS vibes, similar Gordon. What does? Yeah, I guess it does. I've seen like what is it? I've seen clips from that show, but I haven't actually watched it. Is it any good? The only thing that piqued my interest was that it was like, all right, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are actually dating in it or whatever, which is strangely not common in Batman canon. It's pretty good. pretty good. That's interesting to hear that it's a similar Gordon, because I would love... Is it critical of Gordon?
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Because, like, there's some Batman stuff, like the Arkham games. If you've played the Arkham games, like, you know, Commissioner Gordon in those is this real, like, uber-human kind of, like, right-wing fantasy, fascist police state guy. But the game's not critical of him. They just love this version of Gordon. He's this nice, strong, muscly, authority figure. Yes, divorced. It's like Pikachu at times. Interesting. Gordon is made into a washed-up, delirious buffoon, like you said. Harley Quinn, the animated series, is great in my opinion. Not at all afraid to make fun of all the Batman stuff, but in a good way. I'll probably watch it at some point. Brad, thank you for the $1.99. Gordon is very divorced and unhinged. That's what I like to hear. That's honestly selling me more in the show. I mean, I wanted to see it because of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, but hearing there's a super divorced guy on it, maybe that's just an extra cherry on top. It has Clock King and the Riddler dating, does it? Is that true? If that's true, then I'm 100% watching the show. I mean, I would watch any Batman thing with the Clock King in it. It's my favorite character. God, if there's a modern Clock King dating the Riddler. Riddle's classes his clock face. I think you're pulling my leg. I don't think there's any Clock King. You think of that Robert Pattinson Batman movie that came out a few years ago? I liked it. Like, I don't particularly like the grimdark Batman stuff. But there is a point where you go so far in that direction that it wraps back around and I like it again. And that movie did that for me. Like, I don't think it's like a masterpiece or anything, but I had a lot of fun watching it. It had made interesting choices. It's got a green valley.
Start your engine.
That third act dragged on kind of long. Yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but it was just nice watching a weird Batman movie. When I was growing up, I did really like Batman stuff. And you can understand why, you know, the Batman the Animated Series was on, and that's... it's just a very good television program. Just an extremely good thing. You got Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which, in my opinion, is the best Batman movie they ever made. You had the Tim Burton Batman movies, which had such style to them. And there was just a lot of good Batman stuff out. There were just a number of good Batman things. And then you had the very campy Joel Schumacher Batman movies, which I also appreciate in a different way. And at some point, it likely as a result of the pushback on the Joel Schumacher camp, Batman became very serious and dark for a while. You had the Christopher Nolan films, the Arkham games, the Justice League stuff. Batman just got too beefy.
Gentlemen, start your
He got too beefy, he got too grim. Batman vs. Superman was the worst. I did not enjoy that movie, Just sat there watching it the whole time with this feeling of this shadow over me. Martha. Yeah. Martha. Wait a minute. Batman, are you telling me you got a mommy? I do. I never thought about that before, that you would have a mommy. A mommy. I have a mommy. You do? Yeah, I got a mommy. Wow. We both got a mommy. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I guess they're both dead. Yep. Yeah. Both a couple of mommy guys. Both a couple of mommy guys.
gentlemen, start your engine.
Whoever cast what's-his-face Lex deserves to stub their toe once every day. Which Lex are we talking about? Are we talking about Mark Zuckerberg? That guy? Are we talking about that Lex? Yes. That's the sort of thing that I feel like that could have been interesting casting. I mean, it's a different direction for Lex Luthor or whatever, but it felt modern. It felt like a modern version of that character. it wasn't helped by the fact that the movies were bad. The movie was bad. Everything in the movie was bad, so. Lex Luthor's too calculating, too proud to act that way. I do appreciate, like, versions of characters that have a different take. Like, you know, when you imagine, like, classic Lex Luthor is 100% like a cool, under control, calculating, super genius capitalist. And that's the sort of capitalist that I think largely is a myth. I think for the most part, those people are actually big babies who are not very smart. So I'm not necessarily against a reimagining of Lex Luthor as a big rich baby.
Start your engine.
But again, I didn't think anything in the movie was really good, so. Doesn't make sense. The world's greatest detective would have major gaps in practical knowledge. Batman is a number of things. I do really like the animated series did a very good job of, like, this is Detective Batman. This is Batman who largely solves crimes through detective legwork. But I also appreciate it when stories like, here's a weird guy who dresses like a bat. Is he the world's greatest detective? No, he's actually super not. He's not even a particularly good one. He's so far from being the world's greatest detective that, like, he just simply does not even piece together the mystery by the end of the movie. The villain just explains it to him because he missed it all. He's just a weird rich guy who dresses up like a bat. Like, why would someone do that? Why would someone... Dressing up like a bat is a very strange thing to do. It's also a very strange thing for, like, a detective to do. It actually, in many ways, can get in the way of detective work. First of all, it immediately makes you noticeable everywhere you go.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
But, you know, I do like Detective Batman. But again, I think like having alternate interpretations of a character. If you're gonna have a series last for decades and decades, if you're gonna have a series last for 100 years, it's fine having different versions. I don't think the differences make something bad or good. But some of those have definitely been more successful than others. I don't think I've won a single race. I think I've lost every race. I mean, granted, I'm doing a very bad job. I think a 60s Adam West Batman. I do really like that sort of campy Batman. What I appreciate about that is, like, he's such a goody two-shoes. Batman's the sort of person who, like, there's a criminal across the street and he will wait until the walk sign is lit to cross the street to apprehend the villain. It's a very funny concept. I think nowadays, you know, people watching 1960s Batman understand that it's camp. There was definitely a time period in which I heard people talking about 1960s Batman as if the show itself didn't realize what it was doing. It's like it's camp. It's intentional. This is like this intentionally because it's funny. It's funny and it's fun to watch. It's very silly. Mom said she would get high and watch it with their entire dorm in college. That's the way to do it. And a TV show with Liberace as a villain is most definitely pure camp. Absolutely. I forgot Liberace was a villain on that show. It's a show for kids, really. Like, it is a show for children, but like the way that a lot of television programs were made at that time is a lot of media in general is like it has different elements for different audiences who are watching it. Like it's there for the kids to watch and also to be entertaining for the adults watching it as well. We've done all 10 tracks. I've been informed by Lewis in chat that I won a single race a handful of races ago. Remember when they gave Catwoman a sidekick called Pussycat? I do not remember that. It sounds right. Some episodes of Twilight Zone were the inverse, intended for adults, but sometimes kids can enjoy too. Yeah, I mean, there was a whole era of Hollywood output where pretty much everything was kid-friendly. It's the Hays Code. There's strict regulations on what was allowed to be shown.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. It's really depressing sometimes. You know, you think about. I think when people like picture like movies and TV shows and stuff from the past. Like they think about what a more innocent time it was. Look at how less violent things were in these shows. And then you look at any of the pre-code stuff from the years before the Hays Code, and it's like, yeah, there's people getting chopped up and eaten. A lot of cannibalism. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff. There's orgies in these movies. There's a lot of stuff theaters wouldn't run these days. Yeah. BPWay, thank you for the $1.99. Peanut butter jelly time. The peanut butter jelly time poster's back. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. And a baseball bat.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Peanut butter jelly. It's peanut butter jelly world. We just live in it. People smoked on screen. They sure did. Yeah, you can't have a character smoke anymore. It's illegal. It's illegal. Also smoked everywhere then, yeah. Yeah, people really did. You could go anywhere and there was smoke all over the place. I remember in Florida when they made it so that you couldn't smoke at a restaurant anymore and people lost their minds for a bit. The smoking and non-smoking sections at a restaurant never really made sense. It's not like the smoke's not going to travel over. Every restaurant was a smokehouse. Remember ashtrays at McDonald's place? Yeah. It's not good. It's not a good thing to have all that secondhand smoke around. It's buck wild to imagine going into a restaurant and everyone's smoking now. It's just such a weird like thing that was very common. Like, you know, you go into a restaurant and you're like, the nice aroma of the big pizza pie being cooked or something like that. You know, you get those nice smells in a restaurant of the food being cooked. It used to be any restaurant you went into is smoke. Cigarette smoke is the smell of the day. It's so strange to think about in restaurants. Cigarette smoke everywhere. Is this game on PC? I know I got a couple different releases, so maybe. here in New Zealand, there's a whole smoke vape free by 2025 initiative. I've been working towards completely removing all smoking. Like, getting rid of cigarettes and stuff in general.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
They should bring back just pipe smoking. If you want to smoke, you gotta smoke out of a pipe. You can still smoke. It has to be in a pipe, though. I think I just hit a ping. As a kid, I thought pipe smoking was just so classy. It sucks so much that like cigarette smoking became the like I've never smoked anything, any kind of anything, but it's like the absolute most dangerous way to smoke tobacco. Became the most common. There's other methods that are wildly less dangerous. Still unhealthy, but not helped by the... Like, I'm sure part of the reason why this became the fact, I mean, outside of the convenience, cigarette smoking is undeniably cooler looking than pipe smoking. There's this sort of old-timey, dorky kind of feel to pipe smoking. Like, Gandalf the Grey smokes a pipe. But like some sort of cool noir detective smokes a cigarette.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Like the pipe where bubbles come out. Yeah, get one of those bubble pipes. Go now, or I'm gonna gnaw my fingers off. Apologies. Yeah, I'll stop talking about it. Who's cutting a turkey for Thanksgiving? I don't know if you know this about me. I don't know if this has come up at any point. I am a vegetarian. I mean, we do, of course, get a live turkey and stab it, as you do. So I guess someone's going to be cutting the turkey. We do. You of course have to bring a live turkey in and stab it to death. Dang it.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
You have to freeze it and throw it in a vat of oil, hoping it doesn't explode. Yeah. Here's a fun fact. The very best way to cook a turkey is you have to keep it in the freezer and then put it in a big pot of boiling oil. It's super important to cook a turkey this way. You've got to flash fry that turkey. It's how you get the absolute best taste out of that turkey. Now, this does come with a cost. The cost being your entire home as it burns down. But that's the price you have to pay. So maybe there's a vegan turkey. I've actually seen occasionally, like they'll do. I've only seen this in like the local Asian supermarket, where they'll sell this. It's like a half a turkey, or like a half a chicken. It's shaped like a chicken, but it's one half of it. I don't know why they shape it like this. It's like wheat gluten stuff in the shape of one half of one turkey. It's bonkers. The more common thing is just vegan roasts. These are like... They look like how would I describe it? Imagine like a shorter submarine sandwich kind of roll. There's that. Usually it's got some sort of stuffing inside. A couple of companies make these. Tofurkey is the one who's like the longest running in terms of the vegan roast stuff. The Tofurkey brand is not my favorite, but it gets the job done. Shaped like a ham block. It's like a small ham block. They're usually not super big. I've had them before. Sometimes they're the only ones being sold locally. There was one that they made years ago that I've never seen again. I forget what company did it. It might have been Field Roast, the company. And it was one of those vegan roast things, except it was breaded, which was an interesting innovation. It was breaded. It was very good. So you had the vegan roast stuff, and then the outside of it is got this kind of crispy bread stuff on it. It was good. They don't sell it anymore, as far as I can tell. Sky to Fall, thank you for the $4.99. What if they discovered a way to bioengineer living spy turkeys with verifiable souls? What a day that would be. Living spy turkeys with
Start your engine.
So not only do they discover how to detect souls, something that alchemists around the world have been struggling with for thousands of years. But they've discovered they figured that out, and they can also detect it in bio turkeys now. Imagine it, the world that would be. I'm imagining it. Scuffy a vegan? Yeah, I mean, we're both essentially vegan. Like, if we order something and it comes wrong and has egg or something in it, I'll still eat it, but I don't like. I don't cook that stuff anymore. Race winner. So I'm vegetarian, but functionally vegan.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
One of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes is one where the doctor figures out what part of the body the soul is in. No, is it in the butt? Is it there? Was it there? Tell me, where was the soul? Is it in the butt? I need to know. It's very important. Where did they find the soul? Spine. Sure. I mean, from a writing standpoint, I understand why they would go with spine. I don't really think there's been anyone who's had like their spine ripped out or something and survived, so like if you pick the butt, you could be like, well, some people have lost their butt. You saying they don't have a soul anymore? I don't think there's a lot of people who've lost a whole spine, like an entire spine.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Like I had my own spine operated on, so I was in more danger than I thought. It was already a dangerous surgery. I didn't realize they were that close to my soul. Hate it when I lose my spine. Don't we all? The more I'm playing this game, I'm of two minds of it. I am of two minds of this game. On the one hand, I think it's a pretty poor racing game on the Jaguar. Yeah, it's hard to get a real sense of speed when everything's running at 5 frames a second. It's also kind of hard to play. On the other hand, there is a vibe to it. To all of these flat gons. I'm not enjoying my time with it.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
You got it. That'll be an interesting project. I'd love to know what this game would look like running at 4K 60. I wonder if they could get an upscaler and frame interpolation stuff. And get footage of this running at 4K 60. Just imagine. Improved frame rates would make this game better. I think this game is running at a low enough frame rate that yes, improved frame rates would noticeably make it. I don't often say this. I don't generally need a lot of frames. Some people are like, oh, 57 frames a second. The frame pacing of that disgusts me. I'm not one of those people, but once you get below 12, it does start to negatively impact things from even me.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Rarely ever put games at a high frame rate. Takes away a lot of the realism for me. There are some games that I think work better at a lower frame rate. Just artistically and thematically. Like, I don't think I've ever felt that way about a racing game. I think racing games do actually benefit from the high frame rates. But there's some... especially when you get into the realm of like fantasy, where I feel the high frame rate in many ways makes the experience less compelling for me. Mind horror games at a lower frame rate. Alan Wake 2 and Dead Space still parade at 30 frames a second. Yeah, I think 30 frames a second is good for a lot of games like that.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Ah. You know, this game needs bloom. I need some volumetric god rays myself. I need some volumetric God rays, please. I must see God's light wherever I go. This game doesn't have enough orbs, it's true. I recently got done playing through Inherit the Earth Quest for the Orb again. It's been a while since I've played it. Had a good time playing it again. Inherit the Earth Quest for the Orb. Now that's a game with some orbs, let me tell you. Inherit the Earth Quest for the Orb. One day I'll play that on stream. It's a PC game. I've got a way to stream it now through the Steam Deck. I don't really plan on adding PC stuff to the stream, but there are a handful of games that are so important to me personally that I would love to show off, and one of them is Inherit the Earth Quest for the Orb. Inherit the Earth Quest for the Orb is one of the first video games I ever played. Nice. Yeah, I think that was definitely one of the first adventure games I ever played. Cosmic Osmo, yeah. I tried getting Cosmic Osmo running on the Steam Deck, and it runs real small. I don't know how to fix that. It runs in a tiny little window. It runs in the smallest little baby window. Mentioned something about a Hello Kitty roller skating game you played. Yeah, it's on the GameCube. I don't remember what year it was. Hello Kitty. Let me see if I can find that real quick. What's it called? I do not remember. Let's see. Roller was in the name, probably. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Would have been 2019, probably. I think it would have been 2019. It was a long time ago. It was so long ago. It was during the brief period of time in which I was streaming on FilmCow Extra. It's still in the regular playlists. I don't necessarily recommend going back and watching all of those super early streams, but it's a good game. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Need to go look for your Chrono Trigger streams. That's also super early. There's a handful of those games like Chrono Trigger I'm probably gonna play again at some point. Race winner! Not me. I'm not the winner, but that's okay.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Start those engines up. Play Chrono Cross. Yeah, I'd play Chrono Cross. I have a bunch of games on my to get to eventually list. I've gotten to a few of them over the years. Slow going though. Did you play Shaq Fu? I believe we did play Shaq Fu already. I have already played Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu honestly isn't that bad. No, a lot of games that have a reputation of being one of the worst games of all time are honestly just kind of middling games. It's usually a matter of like them having had a lot of hype behind them and having turned out to not be great, as opposed to them genuinely being truly bad.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Superman 64. Yeah, Superman 64 is one of the few in that category that's actually kind of bad. There are worse. It's not the worst game, but it's very low on the list. Most obscure game you've yet to play? I don't know. I probably haven't heard of it yet, because it's so obscure. What's the worst game in your opinion? I'd just be able to, like, just in terms of, like, the games that I've streamed. I think as long as you're stretching the definition of game, the worst one that I've played is the Dennis Miller, That's News to Me, on the 3DO. But maybe the worst in terms of like as a game. Smiley World. Yeah, there's like Smiley World. Smiley World's extremely bad. Smiley World might be one of the worst. And then there's games that are not necessarily bad, but have extremely bad versions. Like, Alone in the Dark 2 is not one of the worst games of all time. Except the Sega Saturn port. Super is. That's...
Gentlemen, start your engine.
in many ways unplayable. Elf Bowling. Elf Bowling's pretty bad. But largely because of its lack of content. M&M's Racing's pretty high on that list. That's definitely not a good game, no. Looks great as long as it's not moving. Very pure gons. It does have some extremely pure gons. I'm glad that flat shaded polygons have made a comeback in the indie scene. I always love seeing them. I love seeing a nice, no nonsense, simple color shaded gon. No texture mapping here.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Where we're going, we don't need a texture map. We sure don't. Can you imagine how this game would run with texture mapping? This is how it runs with the flat gods, but add texture mapping into the mix. Boy. ET's just frustrating to learn. Yeah. There's a ton of Atari 2600 games that are exactly like ET. It's not, ET's not even particularly extraordinary as a bad game in terms of the 2600 library in general. Like, it's not a good game, in my opinion. But it's fine. It's just one of those games that's infamous. And 2600 games in general are kind of hard to get into the like, unless it's like a very arcadey game, like a Centipede or something, or the mechanics are still easily understandable. A lot of those games are just really hard to get into the headspace for. There are games in which you need to read the manual to understand not just what to do, but what you're looking at. What you're looking at and what your goals might be.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Really, thank you for the 5 British pounds. Going to sleep tonight. Hope you enjoy all that food tomorrow. Thank you. Appreciate it. I do as well. Gonna be a lot of eating. Crunch, crunch, munch, munch. hate the holiday, but I do love food. I do love cooking and eating. Race winner. Yum.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The Void, thank you for the $2. I wish all racing games had this frame rate. You could probably build a device that does that for you. That like holds back some frames. You know, televisions have like motion smoothing, which like, oh, we're gonna do that 90s morph effect, but between every single frame. We're adding more frames in. We're gonna do that cool 90s morph effect, but it's everything. Well, you could probably get something like that, but removing frames, just getting those frames out of there, taking those frames and kicking them to the curb. Poor controls here because they tried to implement something like analog control for a D-pad where the length of time left and right is held equates to travel of an analog stick. Oh.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Interesting. I had not heard about that. Yeah, I can kind of see it, kind of. They doing that Macy's Day Parade. They still do that? Do they still do Macy's Parade? They still do the Thanksgiving parades? They're gonna have that big Garfield. You think they'll have Garfield? Can't imagine being in a car driving this fast and just flipping 100% upside down. You think they'll have Garfield at the parade? God, do you think it'll be the movie Garfield? Yeah, you go. They'll show off that movie Garf. He's a big orange cat and he hates Mondays. Here comes Garfield. Or that woman in the 1970s who,
Gentlemen, start
hey,
your
she was like
engines.
16. She was a 16-year-old. She went to her school with a gun and shot a bunch of people. Killed 2, I think. And then she barricaded herself in her home, which was across from the school. And took calls from the press as the police were hung out outside trying to break in. And the reporters asked her why she did it. Why did you shoot up your school? And she says, I just don't like Mondays. She's got orange hair. She might be a Garfield. She might be a Garfield. Song about that. Yeah, there is. Brenda Spencer. Look out, as here comes Brenda. That's not the song.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
In defense, she was stoned and drunk. She did it. Her parents were mean to her. Well, I mean, she did claim that she was abused, which the parole board disbelieved for the reasons that they thought she would have brought it up earlier if it was true, which I don't buy that part, like, from the parole board. whether or not she was or not, I have no idea, but I think it's entirely possible. It's not an uncommon thing. He's still in prison. He's been up for parole a few times. I don't really have any more information than that. Just never got the hang of Mondays.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Boop, 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 boop. Ba 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 ba. It's so foggy. I guess I could get rid of that. I've been driving in the fog for so long, I don't even remember what it looks like when the fog's not there. I'm gonna turn the fog off for the next race, so get ready. You're about to see a fogless world. Corans, thank you for the $2. I found Disney's new film Wish to be unremarkable. What? I don't even know what that movie is. I've largely stopped paying attention to Disney releases, but Wish. What's Wish about? When you wish upon a star. Let me see, let me get rid of this fog. It's sun time at the Sunset Strip.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Here we are. We're in a fogless world now. It's the 100th anniversary of Disney. Tried to MCU the entire Disney animated film catalog. Yeah. It's weird how often, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe was unbelievably profitable for the Walt Disney Corporation. But that ride's never gonna last forever. You can't really, you can't just make that magic strike again with some other thing. They really want to try, though. I'll be glad when we're at the point in which everything doesn't need to be the MCU. I can't wait.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Hot take, in 20 years, most MCU movies will be regarded as bad. Best ones will be called overrated. I think it depends on what you mean by bad. If you mean as art, then yes. I think you're right. There is a filmmaking competence to a number of them that will keep them from being viewed as, like, just bad movies. Although not all of them. Some of them are pretty incompetent. I think in 20 years there's going to be a whole generation of people who have nostalgia for the kind of bad they are, though. That will have a lot of fondness for that particular type of bad. Raise the public expectation of visual effects in film. I wouldn't. they definitely like standardized a quality level that I think wasn't all good for the industry. I think the thing that they really did genuinely well was make the movies like big cultural events. Like I think a lot of people like what they really enjoyed about the Marvel films was going to see the movies with friends, having those moments. Side guys gave them their magic. Yeah, and it's weird that the lessons they learned from all of that are audiences crave universes with tons of characters and not the actual lessons they should have learned. Like, think about how like they tried starting off this cinematic universe with that Hulk movie with a guy who ended up not even being in the cinematic universe, and it didn't really take off. What ended up actually kickstarting the MCU and making it a thing people wanted to watch was Robert Downey Jr. People loved Robert Downey Jr. His performance in Iron Man. It was largely Robert Downey Jr. And then they cast a bunch of other charismatic people to be different characters. I don't really think people super duper cared about the number of characters or the fact that the character itself was there. It was very much just a extremely good casting. Iron Man 1 is arguably the most Islamophobic movie of all time. Yeah, most of the MCU works as a sort of imperialist military-industrial complex propaganda. If you watch the Marvel films with any kind of eye for that kind of stuff, it's all over the place.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Like it's not a coincidence that you remember a couple years ago, Marvel was like, we're creating a new comic series in partnership with Lockheed Martin to show off all the great work Lockheed Martin does. Official Marvel comic series. I don't know how long that ran. There was some backlash. Who? It's a big U.S. military contractor. It was Northrop Grumman, not Lockheed Martin. Apologies. Northrop Grumman. Apologies to the Lockheed Martin Corporation. Wow, yeah, they created a series of superheroes working for Northrop Grumman. Yeah, they created like a whole super team of defense contract workers. Great.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The Avengers teamed up with Northrop Grumman and Elite Nexus to fight evil. We know there's gotta be evil around here somewhere. Captain America throws his mighty shield. Those who choose to oppose his shield must yield. They must yield to his shield, yes. Captain America.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
I'm trying to remember in that Marvel Civil War movie. I forget which is that an Iron Man film? What was Civil War? What was that? That was Captain America. Yeah, Captain America Civil War. It was Captain America versus Iron Man. What was the conflict about? It was government regulation, right? Essentially, Captain America was against government regulation. Was that it? I can't really remember. Conflict in the Civil War film wasn't actually government regulation. I feel like it was. It's been a while since I've seen it. Like they...
Gentlemen, start your engines.
comics, it was government regulation. In the film, it was that there was a secret evil conspiracy within the government that the government wasn't responsible for. Yeah, but like, that's the way that they take a good thing and make it bad in a movie. But like when Captain America is initially like does not want to comply. He doesn't know the evil conspiracy exists, right? He's not telling Iron Man, listen, there's an evil conspiracy. The reason we disagree is not because we disagree on regulations, because there's an evil conspiracy. Iron Man felt extreme guilt about what happened in Sokovia and wanted the government to control them. Yeah, there's a thing that media like this does, where like you take something that would be reasonable. So you've got a number of people acting as essentially super cops, and you think there should be some sort of oversight, some sort of legal structure in place. Or it's like, all right, these people exist, and they're doing a lot of good, but like, there should be some sort of legal framework in place here. And you turn that into something that's unreasonable by the people who want this are secretly evil and using it for nefarious purposes. Well, I guess we're done for today. Had a good time playing Checkered Flag. It's not a good game, but it was a good time. So I guess it is a good game when you think about it. I think it is a good game, actually. Checkered Flag. For the Jaguar. Special thanks to the FilmCow Patreon supporters. Greatly appreciate the support. I will be back tomorrow. Haven't picked out the game I'm going to be playing. Depends on how tired I am from cooking and stuff. But I will be streaming like normal. Yeah. No, I guess I'm done. I'm gonna go make even more food, probably. I'm gonna go make some more food. Have a great night, everyone. A great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Have a good one. Farewell, everyone. I love you all.